been on my own, trying to find my way home, a familiar home that I never seem to let go,
Hello, powerful people. This is Velvet Tea with RSP. This is not one of my normal videos, but because events are unfolding so quickly, I thought I would bring this news to you and kind of help you understand why it's relevant. As we know, most recently, President Trump decided to pull our troops out of Syria. Yay, with no notice, and nobody knew it was coming, and oh well. So, how does that affect us? Well, apparently, Trump's pullout leaves Israel alone to battle Iran's likely resurgence. So, for those who are following prophecy, you'll recognize almost right away what this means is, if our country, the United States, goes through with this, that it leaves it leaves Israel pretty much open to attack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a bit of this article. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's too long. So you can get a better idea or gist of what's going on and how it affects prophecy. Okay. So according to the Times of Israel, the U.S. administration's planned complete withdrawal from Syria is bad news for Israel, both militarily and diplomatically, experts said Wednesday, since it will be leaving a vacuum in the war-torn country that will very likely be filled by Iran. While the U.S. military had only some 2,000 troops in Syria, mostly in the eastern part of the country, and did not actively participate in Israel's ongoing efforts to prevent the Islamic Republic from entering itself there, Iran and its Russian allies will likely interpret the American move as an admission of defeat and feel emboldened to act in Syria as they please. Until now, while physically present in Syria, the American contribution to Israel's major struggle to halt the Iranian war machine in Syria was marginal to zero. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's former national security advisor told the Los Angeles Times on Wednesday that soon after the shock of the U.S. withdrawal was announced. Okay, so basically, they're in shock. They didn't know we were leaving. We're kind of in shock because we didn't know we were leaving. Although this is not the article, this is me talking. Although from what I understand, Americans are happy about the idea of us pulling out of Syria, because we're always happy to have our troops come home. The issue is, however, that for those of us who are watching and looking for signs of the Exodus, what we have to remember is that according to Scripture, even before the gathering of the children began, the fake Jews who are currently residing in Israel will have to be defeated. They're going to have to fight. So now I had no idea they were going to have to fight another country, but oh well, I don't keep up with current events. Oh, my bad. Okay, so continuing on. The effect of this decision is primarily psychological and diplomatic. With this withdrawal, the U.S. abandons Syria and leaves Israel alone. In those arenas, this is a very significant decision, he said. Beyond perceptions, though, the pullout represents a concrete danger for Israel in southeastern Syria, where U.S. troops had played a major role in keeping the border region with Iraq from becoming an arms smuggling free-for-all. A former director of Israel's Strategic Affairs Ministry and ex-head of the Research Division of Military Intelligence reports. Okay. Now, I did see another report not related to this one. I'm going to scroll up some more, in which, some of the leaders are saying, well, they still have troops, they still have weapons, they can protect themselves. This is unexpected, but they could survive without us, and blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, however, we have to remember everything that's going on right now is prophecy unfolding. Everything that we're seeing in the news, everything that's going on around us. So although Israel may think that they will be okay without us, it's kind of up in the air at this point because it's not just one group they're fighting against. Right now, they were already, fighting with ISIS, but now that Russia has moved into the area, it could be a whole different ball game for them if Russia decides to attack Israel, which we don't know for sure if that's what's going to happen or not. I can't predict it. I'm not trying to. I just want to give everyone a heads up that this move being made by the U.S. president is a pretty big deal when it comes to prophecy. Just like his decision to move the embassy, if he goes through with this, he would be speeding up the process for Israel to kind of get their butts kicked, and more than likely the Jews would then lose the land that they're in right now. So, and as we said, that has to take place before we're all gathered, because, if that's where we're headed, they have to get out of the way. And it doesn't say anywhere where we're fighting them. This is something that takes place before we arrive, and by the time we get there, they are then, of course, telling us how sorry they are, kissing our feet, and acknowledging that, the children of Israel are not the Jewish people who are currently residing in Israel. Okay, so how cool is that? But I do encourage you to read up on current events and affairs and find out exactly what's going on so you can put the puzzle pieces together for yourself. I did not expect that part of this to happen so quickly. I will admit I was caught off guard with this as well. But hey, if it's going to happen sooner than later, then all I can say is get ready and pack your bags. Okay, I'm kidding. You don't really have to pack your bags. We're not leaving like tomorrow. But, if you do have a lot of crap to sell, now might be a good time to start doing it, because if this really happens, then it won't be long before they will have to give up that land, or they're going to have a hell of a fight on their hands if we're not there to help them anymore. Okay, well, this was a really short update regarding current events and how it affects prophecy. I hope you find it helpful, and thank you for watching. And remember, and all thy getting, get understanding, and always seek truth.